Buongiorno, everybody. So today we're making something special from our kitchens to send to your kids at college or anybody that's far away from you that you can't get to right now. Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's not that we can only say I love you on Valentine's Day. It's just a day a year that's just a reminder. So, people get into these arguments of, oh, it shouldn't just be one day a year and all that kind of stuff. It should be every day. But this is a reminder. It's a day. St. Valentine, he was a saint. We might as well do what he did, show love. So today I'm calling it, we're sending a hug in a box. So we're going to get started right away. Just remember that these are all things that come from the heart, come from the home. There's such a better feeling when you make a gift and send it. You just feel good giving it because you've given a little piece of yourself, not just gone and clicked and bought a basket and sent it to somebody. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out by making these giant cookies. If you have a giant cookie cutter, then by all means, I don't know, it's easy to see, a giant heart cookie cutter. I also have little ones, and I have this one that says love. But what we're going to do is we're going to make these great sugar cookies that are not too sickeningly sweet. In fact, I like them. They're a little cakier than some. I do have a recipe for you. If you prefer the really thin and crispy ones, there's a trick to that. So I'll explain that as we go. I'm going to make the cakey ones, but you can make either one, so I'll tell you. So we're going to put these aside for a second. But what we're going to do is we're going to make a royal icing to make those ones that look like they came from a bakery with that smooth, icing across the top. And you can put whatever message you want instead of trying to pick one that doesn't really quite say what you want to say or design how you want to design it. So then we're going to make some hot cocoa mix. So really simple, but then we're going to bag it up and you're going to make a nice box with a bunch of hot cocoa mix things in it because it's still winter, and some nice big giant cookies, and they're going to open it up and go, wow, this is so cool. So here we go. Okay, so we are starting with 1 1/4 cups of butter. So in American measures, 2 sticks of butter is a cup, and then we're going to use a half of another. So that's 226. Okay, now I got to put the glasses back on. Again, this is 113 grams. So this is 226 grams. Plus another, what's half of 113? Half of 112 would be 56. So another 56 grams if you're doing it that way. It helps if you, cut it just a little. If it's harder, cut it in smaller pieces. Now, if you want to make a crispier cookie here as we go along, basically what you do, if you're doing these with me, you're going to put a 1/4 cup more sugar, which I don't usually like to do. You're not going to put the baking powder in. You're going to cut the flour by half a cup, and you're not going to add the milk. So I will put this on, but as we go, I will tell you. So if you want more of I like this kind of cookie because it makes a more, it makes more of a statement to have kind of a little bit of a thicker cookie with that pretty icing on top. So, and these cookies, when I make them a little cakier, are a little less sweet, and since we're putting that really sugary glaze on top, it might be better. But everybody has a preference. So, okay, so we've got our butter, and then we're going to add 1 1/2 cups of sugar. Okay, so we're doing 1 1/2 cups of sugar. I'm going to start mixing that. Just for reference, for those of you who don't have one of these awesome covers that keeps stuff from splattering all over you, even putting a towel over your mixer when you're going helps keep things from getting all over you. So, just a tip. Anyway, okay, now we're going to put in 2 eggs. You can do actually 2 or 3 eggs because this is a big recipe and I've done it both ways. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference, just saying. Okay, 2 eggs. Okay, got that started. All right, and now we are going to get our dry stuff together. So we're going to get 5 cups of flour. So here's my flour. So we're going to go, and we're going to do them light. Don't pack it. 5. That's almost filled up. Okay, and we are going to add two teaspoons of baking powder, okay? So just remember, if you want to make a crispier cookie and roll them out thinner, leave the baking powder out. So we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And we are going to put in a pinch of salt. Because these are so sweet, and you know, it does help to put in a little bit of salt. Not all cookies call for salt, but I think this definitely helps. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of mix this around a little. And then the last thing we're going to be doing is adding this plus the milk. Let's make sure I got everything. Flour, baking powder, salt, and then the flavoring. Okay, so we're going to start by adding in the dry, and then we have half a cup of milk. Okay, real quick, you can put whatever flavoring you want. I'm going to add vanilla in here, and actually I usually add it in with my milk. That's okay. I'm going to put vanilla. You can put vanilla. I also have the almond out. You can do vanilla cookie and almond icing, or you can do both 1 and 1, whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. Okay, you just want it to get mixed together. Oh, I love cookie dough. Now I'm going to mix this just for 1 more minute. Okay. All right. We're going to take our dough out. Just quickly get it all together here. And what we're going to do is now cut this in half because I think it's too big to roll out the whole thing. Maybe we shall see here. All right, and I have my rolling pin here. So I'm going to try not to use too much flour. You know, sometimes we want to use a little teeny bit of flour on our surface so that stuff doesn't stick. You can also roll them out on a little wax paper so that way it's easier to pick them up. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to flatten this out a little. Makes it easier to start rolling. And roll this baby out. See, look, this is a quarter of the dough, and this would maybe make 2 of these hearts. But I'm making a couple to send to Angelina. So I'm going to make a couple big ones. Each kid's going to get a big one, and then I'm going to make a bunch of the little ones to go along with it. So it's kind of exciting. So there's one. And of course, I got to send one to the roommate. We love the roomie, just like a sister. All right. So see, parchment paper tray. Take the first cookie off. You know, I got so much room and I've got no room all at the same time. All right. Take one cookie. Put that there. Oh, that's a beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to already have to roll this out. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make, now I'm not going to put these on the same tray, but we're going to make some of these love cookies. Now, you may not have the love cookie cutter, but I did get it on Amazon, just saying. It's really cute. A couple of those out. Take the outer dough off. This is going to have to make more cookies. Okay. So see, here we go. Next tray's going in. They're going to cook for 8 to 10 minutes. Again, it does depend on how thick you made them. So now, to make our royal icing, we need egg whites. So, get my eggs out. Now, my regular recipe calls for 3 egg whites, 3 large egg whites. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 4 or 5 because I got 6 kids. I got a lot of cookies to send them. Okay. So egg whites. Now there's a lot of ways to do royal icing. You can do it with meringue powder. And if you go online, you can find a recipe. They're not hard. It's just about, you know what's more important about the royal icing, more than the recipe, is getting the right texture so that, you don't, and getting it, you want it a little bit thicker to do your borders, and then you want to thin it out just a little bit to flood the middle if you want to make it solid. So it's more about, that's what's more important. And it usually a little bit harder to figure out. But if you want to get all your stuff out, if you're doing this with me, it is 3 egg whites. You're going to need your cream of tartar, salt, powdered sugar, and your flavoring and your food coloring. Okay, so get those things out. You guys get to see my big bin of baking goodies. I don't know another B word. So here I have my bags, which we're gonna need. Now, if you don't have pastry bags, you can use, you can take a piece of parchment paper or wax paper, roll it up. I'll show you how to do that. Use a bunch of my tips. You can kind of use whatever colors you want. I'm gonna blue. I think that's my pink. There we go. I was looking for the pink. Everybody seems to, I used to have, everybody seems to think, oh, Doreen, I can't believe you got your tips in a bag. I had this really great tip box. It has all these little nubs that you stick the tips on top of. And it melted. And so then it wouldn't stay shut. I don't know how it melted, don't ask. But anyway. All right, well, we're gonna come back to that in a minute. I'll pick out my tips, get my colors out. But I wanna just have everything out and ready to go. French chefs call it mise en place. It's, I don't know how you say it in Italian, but anyway, I know how to say it in my dialect. Tout à poste. Everything in its place. So if you have everything out before you get started, then you don't forget. So 3 egg whites, I've got my egg whites. We've got my cream of tartar right here. And I have my spoon to get that out with. Right here. And then we need the salt, powdered sugar flavoring, got that, water as needed, and food coloring. So I am going to get a little bit of water. All right, so I have some water just in case we need it. And that just is going to help us thin it out if we need. So I'm going to start by putting it in here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, now that I've got everything, okay, I'm going to cheat here and get my royal icing recipe because I have the directions on the back. I always like to make sure, I don't make the royal icing that often. I've done it enough times that I know how to do it, but making sure that I have my ingredients close by and remind myself. And it's not a sin to do that, okay? You know me, usually I'm throwing stuff together, me and my towel over my shoulder, but sometimes you gotta do things right. So we're gonna whisk the eggs until they're fully frothy. Okay, so let's do it this way. Now you can see the frothiness. Can you see it? Isn't that pretty? We're gonna froth it some more. Okay, and I sat here laughing while I'm frothing because I did something, again, kind of dumb. Considering I'm gonna be adding a whole bunch of things to this, look at how cool this is though. Isn't that fun? I'm sorry. Okay, I just made myself more dishes to wash, but that's okay. All right, so now we've got this beautiful, look at that, isn't that pretty? So now we've got that. So now we're going to add half of the sugar and we're gonna whisk it in. Let's get the powdered sugar and my measuring cup. And so we are going to be putting in 3 3/4 cups of, I don't know why 3 3/4 cups. This is something I do a little bit more precise. And you want to know a stupid little trick? If you ever need to put the lid on your powdered sugar and just shake the crap out of it, it's not quite sifting it, but it does help a little. Okay, so we're gonna put in 2 cups of sugar here. Oh my gosh, it jiggles. Isn't that fun? Okay, we're gonna do this on slow. We're just gonna mix it on slow. Okay, now, if you do want to be really perfect, then you can do it with the sifter. You know, I'll show you. This is actually, I already did this, but let me just show you how easy it is. You don't have to have one of those old kind of sifters, but I do love those. I used to love to go and or do the roundy or the squeezy, you know. So you can do this and get all the lumps out, because you definitely don't want lumps in your royal icing. But honestly, it does, you know, if you have your powdered sugar and it's nice and fresh, it's usually not too lumpy. It's if you've had it sitting in the cabinet for a long time, that's a whole nother story. Okay. There's a few little pieces in there. Oh, we need one more 3/4 cup. That was 1 cup, and this is a 3/4 cup. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. So now we are going to add the rest of our stuff. We're going to add our cream of tartar. So it's 1 teaspoon of, or half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Yeah, I know I have this big thing because half teaspoon of cream of tartar. It's amazing that just half a teaspoon does what the trick, but it does whatever it does. Okay, there we go. And you go away. And we are going to put in our flavoring as we get in here. So I'm going to make, I think I'm going to make my frosting almond flavor. I'm going to have a vanilla cookie with an almond. I don't think I have, oh no, I can't. I got to do vanilla. I have 1 nut person. Let's mix this in. And now I have this beautiful, let me get a spoon and show you what it looks like. This royal icing. Look at this. And this is what it should look like. Now, this definitely doesn't need any water. And actually this is almost, this is perfect for the flooding part. So what I'm gonna do is take just a little bit out and make it a little bit thicker. For my borders. I'm just gonna add a little teeny bit of sugar to it. Because you want it to hold the shape on the outer border. So it's got to be a little thicker. So I'm going to show you. Okay, that's enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now separate this out into different batches, and I'm going to put coloring in it. The thing is, if you're using food colorings that are these paste kind, okay, you don't have to worry about the thickness changing. If you're using liquid food coloring, you may need to then add a smidge of extra powder of sugar so that you know you don't thin it out too much. So let's see. Ooh! Oh my goodness! Ha! Yeah. I should have put my timer on, huh? Okay, so my little ones are a little darker than I wanted them to be, but they're okay. And the big ones, I think, are perfect. Whoop! Oh man, these are nice. So I'm taking a toothpick, putting it in my paste here, and I'm gonna, let's see, this one I think has the most. Look at this, pretty red. You gotta be careful because red icing can actually have flavor that's not nice. But if you look, when you look for these Wilton or whatever other brand pastes, they have a no flavor. It says no taste, no flavor red icing. Now, I don't like using a lot of colors. You know me, I like doing everything natural. So like most of the time, like when I ice a cake, I always do the base in white and then I just decorate with some color. And I will probably do that with a lot of these as well. Maybe I'll do purple. Forget pink. The red is kind of pinkish. I need a different toothpick. For my purple. Okay. All right. So now we're going to the next thing that's going to go in our box. And in the end, we are going to put these boxes together, so please stay with me. Okay, so now we have this clear glass bowl so I can show you what we're doing. So you can make a lot of this or a little bit of this. I recommend you make a bunch because you'll just use it at home. So here's our ingredients. And now you can do this two ways when it comes to the sugar. You can use powdered sugar or granulated sugar. I like it both ways. A lot of times I prefer it with the granulated sugar, but I always put mine in hot milk. This I'm sending to the kids. They always are running out of milk. So the way we're doing this, it'll be good kind to mix with water because we're going to put powdered milk in it. So pay attention. Now, one last little crazy thing we're going to do. If you can use this ingredient or not, it just makes it a little bit more decadent. But if you have some good white chocolate chips, you can throw them in the food processor and bring them down to almost a powder. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, that is so cool. So you take it and it's pretty much it's like a crumbly powder. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put in 2 cups of powdered milk. Got a brand new thing of organic cocoa. Now, organic powdered milk is the best. And today, the only thing I could find, well, not today, for today, the only thing I could find right now was not organic powdered milk. But do your best. Because, I will always push you to go organic, as natural as possible. All right, this is my half cup measure. So we're gonna put in 2 cups of powdered milk. So here's 1/2, 1/2, and 2. Or actually, I take that back. I put in 3 cups. I can't read because it's over there. 3 cups. I'm going to use up all of this. 1, 2. 3 cups of powdered milk. We're going to put in 2 cups of cocoa. So 1, 4. Okay, so that's 2 cups. That was 4 half cups. And now we're going to put in, now you're going to see different recipes. If you by chance go look up your own recipe online, this is my recipe. They all call for way more sugar. But because we're going to add this chocolate to it, and milk is sweet, okay, by its own nature. So whether they put this in milk or now it's got the powdered milk in there, it's its own sweetness. So we are going to, oops, I can't put the chocolate measuring cup in the powdered sugar. So we're going to put in, I only put in 1 cup of sugar. The thing is with this, if they don't think it's sweet enough, they can always add a little sugar themselves. 1. And 2. Okay? And then we're going to add just a pinch of salt. Almost forgot where I put it. I put it right back. Pinch of salt. And we're going to put in some of this white chocolate. So this comes out to, well, we'll put in, oh, look at that. That was perfect. About 3/4 cup. It was a half a bag. That you saw me, I just eyeballed it. So now, we're going to take a nice spoon. We're going to mix this all up. And it's going to have little chunks. Now, you can do the white chocolate really fine. You can pulverize it to a powder. I left it, they're like the size of sprinkles. They just have a little teeny bit of texture to it. So, and they're going to melt in their hot cocoa, and it's going to be so yummy. Adds like a little extra creaminess to it. Okay, so now we are going to take this awesome mixture and we're going to package it. So now you can do this a couple different ways. You can use the little Ziploc snack bags, or if you have like those little party bags, these are little food bags, so you can do it either way. or any spare little jars that you have. If you want to put it in a jar, that's cute also. You can make it solid and just put it in a jar, and they can, you know, you can put a little ribbon around it with a little tag, say take 1 tablespoon of this and mix it with your hot milk. Or you can mix like 1.5 tablespoons or 2. Of course, they're going to put in as much as they want, but you put some instructions on there so they don't go, you know, put the whole thing in. And they can, you know, spoon it out themselves. But it is kind of fun to put them in individual bags. So I'm going to show you what I do. So basically what you can do is you can put 2 level tablespoons in here. And then what you do is you get some baby marshmallows. I'm going to open this up. Ugh. Okay, really? This bag doesn't, okay, I had to stick my finger in it. And then like pick a number, you know, if it's my 6th kid, I'm gonna give her 6 marshmallows. Now that's kind of cheap, isn't it? That's probably just, we'll put 8, because there's 8 of us in the family. So 8 marshmallows, and here is a serving of hot cocoa. So these are plain like this, and you can make a bunch of them, and then just tie a bunch of them together with a ribbon, and then they've got them. They can keep them in their cabinet, and this is already pre-portioned. So a nice gift here would be to make at least, I would say at least 10 portions, because there's plenty here. You know, six is the minimum. I'd say at least 6 to 10 portions of the hot cocoa with 1 giant cookie and a bunch of little ones, and it's a really nice gift. You've got this really cute little box, and this will actually fit. This will fit like your giant cookie and probably, you know, a bunch of the cocos. So you could try this one. This one I think is $6 or $7 to send. This one I think is like 12 or something like that. But, you know, cannot spend too much on our kids. I'm going to take my red tissue paper and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to put all my goodies in there, and they're going to open it up, and it's going to be all festive and happy and cheerful. And you know what? If I bring a smile to somebody's face with these cookies and this hot cocoa, I've done my job as a mom. Okay, so now we're going to have our icing colors, and we're going to play. So ideally, what you want is just a single tip. So if you have a bunch of different tips, just use one of your round tips. You're going to use a smaller one. If you don't have tips, you can use a plastic bag, a heavy-duty plastic bag, and just cut a little teeny-weeny hole at the bottom. Or you can use a piece of wax paper and make your own little, I'd make it double just because it's more solid. And then what you do is you just make this into a little tube, a little funnel kind of thing. And then you can use this. And then you just make a little teeny bit of a hole at the bottom so that you can use it. And you just only fill it like to here, and then you're gonna twist it up because you don't want it eking out the top. But I have bags, so I'm gonna use them. One good way to fill your icing is to put it in a cup or a jar, and then it makes this little, see, and then it's so easy to fill. Okay, I'll use the white in here. And see, then you just go like this. And if you want to be really smart, you can twisty tie or rubber band the ends. Now that's not cut yet, so I can lay it down. And we're going to use this one for the purple or the pink. Let's do the pink first. Okay, I'm not going to fill it all because otherwise it's going to make too much mess. That one, and now the purple. Okay, I have a lot of purple. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nice pink, and I'm going to just make a border. You're going to do it just inside. You're not going to do it all the way at the edge, because then it falls down the side. So see how this is? It's before it drips. It's just inside the outer part of the cookie. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so now I've got my 3 colors. So now my pink, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some of this, actually I'm gonna take some of this purple, and I'm gonna flood, they call it flooding. I'm gonna flood the middle. So I'm just gonna kind of just put it in the inside. And then just kind of jiggle it around with the tip a little. Okay, so right now it looks like that. It's like not, but I'm just, whoops! Told you not to let the ends go. Should have rubber band. I should have taken my own advice. Okay, so you take the tips. You can take the tip, or you can take a toothpick. Watch me. Actually, you know what's better than a toothpick is if you have one of these skewers, you know, that we all year long, we wait for summer to use these, but there's actually, you just take this and push the icing into the corners because it's so thin. Just lean it so it goes that way because it's kind of a little drippy. Come on, there we go. And now we have this cute flooded little purple centered heart. So now we're going to let that dry, and we can leave it plain like that, or you can put like a little, with the white, we can do a little XOXO, or another little design, or I'm going to show you another thing you can do. Actually, I'm going to do it while it's wet. You can also take, let's see, where's my white? Oh, here it is. Right in front of me. You take the white, we can put some dots across it and just leave it like that. Isn't that cute? Or you can take this little, well, let's wipe it off, and you start at the top and you go down through the dot, and all of a sudden it's a little heart. So I made the outline of my love. I made a little heart for the center of the O. And I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to flood it with whichever other color I feel like doing. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh, look, I got to show you up close. Isn't that cute? I made the little border and I pulled it in. So now it's got little pink, extra little pink stripes in there. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll put somebody's name on it. So those are perfect to pack up in these bags. If not, put them in a Ziploc or a fold-over plastic bag, or wax paper. Wax paper is so kind of old-fashioned and retro. So what you can, I know, because people don't always use it all the time. I love my wax paper, and there's only one brand out there. But if you get like some wax paper and make a little, you know, envelope out of it or something, or just, even if you take your cookie, I'm going to use the uniced one here for a minute, and just fold it in half over the cookie, and then make a little top, and then just put a couple of them in a row like this. That's also really cute. Or you can put it inside and make it more completely closed, you know, and just wrap them. It doesn't have to be rocket science. The kids are going to love it, but they're still in wax paper, and then you can just layer them in there and you can still see through it. So you can wax paper, use what you've got, okay? No matter what. You can also treat it like you would tissue paper, because this is better than putting it directly in tissue paper, because, you know, that's gonna stick. But you can just put them in like this and then just kind of crunch them up like you would tissue, and then put the tissue around it, and that's also cute. So use what you've got. Use plastic wrap. If you have to wrap them, just wrap them in plastic. Make sure they're 100% dry before you do that. But you can wrap them in plastic. You can put them in a you know, a goodie bag, candy bag. These are actually cookie bags. Wax paper, whatever, okay? And then put the tissue around them, stand them up in the box, or make sure, if you do stand them, make sure there's plenty of tissue behind them so that they're supported. Use a bunch of white tissue paper to really scrunch around to make sure everything is supported. Make a cute little card, and with the description of the, you know, what you've given them, the cookies, if you need to let somebody know there's no nuts in them. If you want to let them know that, you know, how to make the hot cocoa mix, make a little card. Say mix 1 packet of hot cocoa in hot water or hot milk. Because it has the milk in it, it's fine to do in water. So I'm going to really quick show you, we're gonna fill this one little love one because these are so cute. Okay. Okay. Isn't that cute? Pink, purple. Love. And you can take, now if you want to take sprinkles on these or anything like that, you can do that too. So whatever you want to do, but you know, you really just have fun with it. Whatever you send them, they're going to be happy with it. If you make these today or tomorrow, if you get them in either today, tomorrow, or worst case Monday's mail, they should get it in time for Valentine's Day. So get to work, people. You know, today you've got some nice cookies made from your kitchen. So anyway, have a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's Day ahead of time. And to those that you love and that you're going to send these hugs in a box to. Thanks for sticking with me this whole, long time. I will talk to you soon. Ciao.